I am the author of Breaking the Chains, Escaping Abuse, Cults, and Finding True Love. Um, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I am an ordained elder in the Lord's Church. I am an educator by day and community organizer, and just, a woman after God's own heart. That's Latoya Braswell.
So, how did authorship come about? What made you become?
Let me see. I feel like with authorship, I've been writing my story my entire life. And I used to tell people bits and pieces of my testimony, and then I would stop because I felt like I was being too vulnerable. And I would say casually, I've been through enough that I could write a book. And I think after me saying that enough, um, I started putting the pen to the paper. And, you know, originally I wanted to write a prayer book like during the pandemic. And I had sat with a writing coach, and she was like, "Oh, that's good." She was like, "Well, what's your story?" I was like, "Nobody want to hear my story." She was like, "No, tell me." So I began to share a little bit of my testimony with her, and she was like, "That's the book. That's the book. That's what you should write about." And that was the birthing of my authorship.
Wow. So, in writing this book, was it more of a healing process, or just you just wanting to share with others what your journey has been like?
That's a great question. Um, I think it was both. I believe that the Lord had healed me from what I had endured. And that is where the title was birthed out of Breaking the Chains, because that was a chain of bondage that I was in. I was in an abusive relationship. And then from the abusive relationship, I ended up in a black cult church. And, you know, going through those things at that time, I didn't know that it was a part of my journey. I thought that, God was upset with me, and I was just like, why me? You know, why am I enduring all of these things? And so as I began to write, it was like reopening the wound that I thought I was healed from. But when I finished writing and I read, the manuscript, I knew I was healed because I was able to read about the journey, the highs and the lows, the valleys and the peaks. And that's when I knew that I was fully delivered. And then it was like, okay, I could use my story as a way to help other people heal and see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I feel like it was both. I feel like it was a healing process for me, and also an avenue that the Lord wanted to use in order to, open up um, that way for other people to see their freedom in the long run.
So, in choosing the avenue to publish, did you self-publish or did you go with the publishing
I
house?
self published. I self published and I self taught because I feel like the people that I knew that had written books, I don't know, people just didn't really like,
Want to
show
share?
you the way. And so that's why I could appreciate what you're doing, because it's a beautiful network, of authors that's just beginning, or maybe they've been on the scene, but I was just trying to do everything on my own and blazing my own trail. And so that's why I ended up self-publishing. I wish I would have got a publishing deal or went through some type of publishing agency, but I self-published.
So, what some of your challenges been teaching yourself to self-publish?
it was just a lot. First of all, financially, um, I guess as I was getting through certain things, because I didn't know how to do different pieces, I had to pay people to do it, and so that was one aspect of it. Some of the other challenges was feeling like people was gonna steal my work. Some people that I was working with, they just went off the grid, like almost right around the time that I was ready to put my work out